Welcome everyone, this is the 24th episode of my Dragon Age Origins Hardcore 100% playthrough. In this episode we will complete the Warden's Keep DLC, which with this challenge it has to be one of the toughest campaign DLCs in the game. It has at least 4 places where the game can be especially unfair with this challenge, so we have to make sure that we have the necessary equipment and that we will use the correct tactics.
Yes.
Indeed.
And here we are, Soldier's Peak. Maker's breath. Look at the size of her. What a fortress. I told you the map would get us through the tunnels. You wouldn't believe me if I told you. It came to me in my dreams. When I was a lad, I tried going through the tunnel by myself. Got horribly lost. But every now and again since, I've dreamt of it. I didn't want you to think I was some moon-addled simpleton. I've my wits about me, but enough of that. I'll follow you, from a distance. This place has the stench of death. I expect there's trouble up ahead.
Soldier's Peak. Looks like a city of days. Better centuries, more like.
Once the Wardens flourished, their ranks full, their caliber certain. Now they even accept people like you, Alistair.
Hey!
Fall back! Fall back already!
Taking the peak will not be easy, my lord.
I gave the Wardens one chance to die with honor. Instead, they hole up like cowards. We follow the King's advice then. Starve them out.
But the peak has months of supplies.
Then we wait. When they are too weak to lift their weapons, we will send them to their final judgment.
What was that? Felt a bit woozy there. I'm not mad, am I? You saw it too?
I've heard an Orlesian ballad about something like this. A beauty trapped in a dream. In the song, Belisa never wakes up.
Your prissy friend here is making me nervous, Warden. How's this even possible? The place must truly be haunted. Yes, Warden.
The first section is not one of the challenging parts. It's just gonna be waves of skeletons, so they won't be a problem. But every wave comes with its own twist. As you can see, the first one also has some walking corpses. The second wave always comes with a spirit healer, so obviously we're gonna focus on that one first. And finally, the last wave has an elite Master Scout who uses a unique crossbow and double daggers.
Yes.
Touching this statue will give you the first codex entry for the History of Soldiers Peak, and it will also activate the Ancient History quest. In order to complete the quest, we need to gather 3 more codex entries.
The men's morale is low. My spells are of no use in this matter, Commander.
There is more to leading men than sorcery, Avernus. I will remind them that they're wardens. Men, I won't lie to you. The situation is grim. Our forces outnumbered, our bellies empty, and our hearts are sagging. But we are wardens! Darkspawn flee when they hear our horns. Archdemons die when they taste our blades. So are we to bend knee to a mere human despot? No! I, for one, will never give up! I, for one, will never surrender just to dance on Arlen's gallows. So I propose here and now, in these hallowed halls where generations of our brethren stood vigil against darkspawn and evil, that we send a message to that fat bastard. In this sacred place, proud men, strong men stood defiant, and would rather die than submit to tyranny.
So brave, even when starving, and my great-great-grandmother stood with them. Everyone knows they were banished, but to murder them like that, King Arlen must have been a monster. But I've gabbed enough. Lead on, my friend.
So right behind that door is the first dangerous fight that we need to be careful with. Once we open it, an arcane horror and 2 rage demons will spawn. All 3 of them can throw fireballs and their spells are really powerful. The arcane horror also has paralyze and vulnerability hacks, so we're gonna take the stealth approach. Okay, the rage demons are down, but for some reason this arcane horror starts targeting me while I'm still in stealth. Luckily I resisted his paralyze, but now it's throwing a fireball at my team. See? That was just 1 fireball. And look at Morrigan's health. The door to the right leads to more skeletons, but that room is nowhere near as dangerous as this one was.
I shall. And I'm off.
In this room we have to fight rage demons, because we are high enough level already. If we had come here earlier, we would have to fight those corpses on the floor. In either case, it's a pretty easy room. The rage demons have no spells, except the elite archivist, but most of the time the archivist just stands in one place for some reason. The second codex entry from the Ancient History quest can be found here on the floor.
Oh, right.
The door won't hold, Archivist.
Almost done. The truth must be told.
What does it matter? We're dead.
Grand Rebellion so close. And to die here, a stillbirth.
We never should have done it. Wardens aren't supposed to oppose kings and princes.
Should we stand idly by?
Another one. Rebellion? What's this about a rebellion? If only the book weren't burned. But Sophia must have had her reasons. The Wardens are heroes. Some injustices just can't be ignored. How's that different from what you're doing with Tairn Loghain? You lead a harder life than I.
So now let's proceed to the second floor, which is by far the most dangerous one. As soon as we reach the destroyed barricade, a boss fight will begin with an Abomination, and this one is really tough.
Make them pay for every inch, men! Hold the flank! Avernus, we need you!
Contraste's blood! What?
More Avernus! Whatever it takes! Press them! Press them now!
No! I command you, fight the king's men!
So much death, suffering, and oh yes, blood. The veil is torn now. Your soul is mine, Avernus.
Acolytes, retreat now. The battle is lost.
Avernus!
What just happened? Oh no, more fighting.
Well, that's an understatement. So the fun thing about this Abomination is that it can't be killed. The 4 corpses that you see there will constantly heal it. So in order to get rid of the Abomination, first you have to get rid of the corpses. I repositioned the team because I want them to be as far away from the corpses as possible and to keep the Abomination busy, which will allow me to take down these undead one by one. The fight is not this easy though, because once you kill all the corpses, another wave will spawn and it will have some rage demons. Unfortunately, those guys love spamming Fireball and Flame Blast, and if I would cluster my team here, they would melt like butter under all that fire damage. So as you saw it, I let Leliana summon the wolf. Since the party is paused, the pet will summon at my location, making it a great bait for those demons. I also move far away from the boss so I can enter stealth, making sure that those demons won't target me. There we go. Now that they're gone, this fight is gonna be much easier. Not so tough now without your little buddies, huh? Levy's running around like a headless chicken.
The Warden summoned demons. Can't believe it. And my grandmother, she knew. I believed that my family was better than that. But answers may lay up ahead.
You see, I always thought that it would be a perfect addition to the Blood Mage spec to summon actual demons or control them, because lore-wise that's totally accurate. And yet you can't do it when you're a Blood Mage because they don't have blood. It's just weird. The Abomination has the Winter's Breath staff, which is pretty good. In fact, it's better than what Morrigan has now, so let me just quickly switch it. The third codex entry for the Ancient History quest can be found on this jar.
Step no further, Warden. This one would speak with you. Because this peak is mine. This one is the Dryden, Commander, Sophia. All these things.
Grandmother?
You have slain many of the demon ilk to get here. This one would propose a deal.
That, or she's really let herself go. My great-great-grandmother is dead. I don't know what that is.
This one has tasted her memories, seen her thoughts and hidden places. But she is food for this one. No more, no less. What is one woman child compared to your might? Strike me down if my terms offend. A fool this one would be to betray the Warden.
You can't be serious. There's nothing left of Commander Dryden. She's possessed.
Your fledgling should mind its place. Meek, subservient, quiet. This one will answer your question. The soldier's peak traps me. This one sees so many tantalizing places in the Dryden's memories. This one would see the world herself. For me to be free, into the old mage tower you go and destroy. In return, this one seals the veil. No more demons, no more enemies. Your peak would be safe. Just let this one go into the world. Yes. Your kind likes gold, yes? This one knows of all hidden places. If you help, this knowledge is yours. You only must destroy. For your purpose, there is nothing more you need. Good, good. Nothing must live. Gnash stone with teeth if you can.
By far the most profitable way to finish this quest is to ally with Sophia and then betray her. This way you can have Avernus's robe, Sophia's armor, and then additional 8 gold. But of course this means that we have to kill both of them. So remember at the beginning where I was talking about those 4 fights that can be very, very dangerous? Well, Avernus is one of them.
Yes. Trap right ahead.
This bridge part is not really dangerous, but it does have a ton of traps, so it's best if we pause the team and just take care of the enemies ourselves. Very good. Lariana, make yourself useful.
Hey. Trap right ahead.
So Alistair leveled up. Obviously the 3 attribute points will go to his constitution. I don't think I will pick up a skill yet, but I will pick up Rally. It seems like he earned a tactics slot, which is good. From now on I want him to use Warcry whenever he is attacked by melee weapons. Obviously he can't knock the enemies down yet, because he doesn't have superiority. But he can still apply an attack debuff, which will increase the chance that the enemies will miss the party. The alchemical concoction, essentially the fruits of Avernus's dark labor, is on the table. and we will most certainly going to chug that thing down.
Day 32. The subject is not responding to the stimuli. Testing the pain threshold has uncovered nothing. Only 3 subjects are left. Day 82. If only I could reproduce last night's extraordinary success. Electricity is only a catalyst. The blood is the key. Day 97. Energy and blood. Repeated applications have duplicated the results. I conjecture that success can be induced alchemically. But there are no more subjects left. If only I had 1 more, or a dozen. The things I could do.
In my opinion, the Rogue has by far the best Power of the Blood abilities. Both of them are extremely useful. Dark Passage will increase our movement while we are in stealth. It will also give 5% dodge. And Tainted Blade, as long as it's active, will increase our damage based on our cunning. So as I said, the Avernus fight is pretty tough. We basically have to take him down ASAP before he can shower us with his fireballs. The problem is that he defends himself with paralysis runes, so we can't just run up to him immediately. There's a little trick I will use to take him down quickly, but first I need to summon the wolf, so I can go after Avernus without being bothered by the undead.
I hear you. Don't disrupt my concentration. Even now, the demons seek to replenish their numbers. Are you to thank for this welcomed but temporary imbalance? My body may be frail, but my sorcery is not.
So here's how the trick works. Once Leliana notices the trap, I can go for a disarm, since I'm also a rogue. Now, when you attempt to disarm a paralysis rune, you can safely pass through it even if the disarm fails. Since Morrigan petrifies any elites, by the time we get to Avernus, we can just backstab him to death. I think I actually made this fight look pretty easy. If that Petrify had failed, we could have been in a lot of trouble. I think I would have used Dirty Fighting and Riposte on Avernus to stun him and then start backstabbing him that way. But I was definitely happy that he didn't resist that Petrify. The last Codex entry for the Ancient History quest is on this corpse. Now we can claim our reward in the main hall once we finish the DLC. Avernus's corpse yields Avernus's robes, which is a pretty good upgrade for Morrigan over her current rags. So now all that's left is the final dangerous fight of this DLC, which is basically going to be a demon gauntlet.
The maelstrom maelstrom has subsided. The Magus's web is destroyed. This one remembers the deal. Come, follow. Gossamer strands only stand between this world and home. Feel it? So deliciously weak here, so frail. The entire world should be as such. But this one will feed the veil, make it strong. My brethren will not make it easy. Are you ready? Then we begin.
As soon as the fight starts, once again, I position my team far away from the middle of the room. The first wave is going to be Rage Demons. Their most dangerous spell is Flame Blast. Thankfully, they don't have a lot of health, so we can quickly get rid of them.
Down you go!
The second wave is 4 Shades, and they are even less dangerous than the Rage Demons. I positioned Alistair and the pets in a way that they would form a wall, because the third wave is actually the most dangerous one. We have 2 Ash Wraiths and 2 Rage Demons. All of these enemies can use Flame Blast, and the Ash Wraiths can interrupt anything, including healing, with their Whirlwind. Finally, the last wave is a single Desire Demon. Although she's a boss, there are just too many of us.
And it is done. Your veil is strong. This one has kept its word. Now this one will go. There is much to do. In the Dryden's quarters, a stone on the wall, carefully concealed. It holds the gold this one promised. That was not the agreement. This one promised no such answers. Ah. Ask, human. Ask quickly.
Grandmother, Sophia, she knew about the blood magic then?
Yes, she did. Avernus was powerful, useful. It suited her ambitions.
But my grandmother was a hero.
In her own mind, yes. She aspired to rule the land of the waking, to cast out the tyrant king, to mete out justice to those who betrayed her. Cousin Arland was so coy, so devious, years before she sensed the asp. The old king died without kin, and the Dryden sought to don the crown. But the boy Arland was thought pliable by those in power. Fools. The Dryden, powerful, charismatic, insightful, and ignored. They gave her a choice, death or the Wardens. She bided her time, she waited, she lived. The boy King Arland spread terror, spread death, and the Dryden plotted. But Arland's spies were too clever. She was discovered, and her last battle was here.
And you, demon? How did you come to take her?
When the Avernus deserted her, the Dryden would not die. Fierce pride, lovely, delicious terror. This one came to her. She would live in a fashion. And so she does. For this one is honest.
Do you have any proof of this? Any proof of her good deeds and bad?
Poor ilk of this body. This one has nothing. Only words lost in the wind.
I don't know what to think. The whole family held to the belief that Sophia was a hero. Truth is she was, and she wasn't. Thanks, though. The truth is good to know.
Our business is at an end. What? This one will grind your bones in my teeth.
You've done it, Warden. Soldier's Peak is safe again. A good thing you took care of that Avernus. A blood mage. In the Wardens. Common folk should never hear of that. Some still distrust Wardens, even in a blight. Crazy buggers. But there was no proof to redeem my family. Well, thanks, Warden. For so long, I was focused on the past. On answers. But I think I would have been better off had I stayed at home. Enough of that, though. I find myself at a loss. You've got a whole fortress now. I suppose I should start plying my trade again. I might use the Peak as a base of operations. So many bandits about. But none would dare come here. Nice place to store trade goods. You, of course, will get a sizable discount.
Looks like we're done here. A demonic invasion thwarted, a Warden base safely rescued. We do good work.
There we go. So we managed to finish the Soldier's Keep DLC. All that's left now is to loot Sophia to get her armor, grab the gold from the Trident's quarters, and finish the Ancient History quest. Although Asturian's Might is a pretty good sword, Alistair has a better one, so we're just gonna turn it into gold.
Yes. As soon as we leave, we will immediately come back, because Levi has some stuff that I need to buy from him, and I will also give the star medal to Mikhail. Indeed.
Indeed.
Yes.
Welcome back, Warden. As you can see, we've been busy. Cleaned the place up a bit. Even my brother Mikhail came out of hiding. Never will you find a finer smith. Also, got some goods stored here that might interest you. Buy them now before my cousins move it all someplace else. I thought about it, but I figured that it's not a bad thing to believe that you come from a line of lions, even if the truth is a touch more complicated. Our family's belief that we were wronged. It gave us strength to make something of ourselves. We've a big family. When you were away, we all pitched in. Hard to believe there were undead, demons, and worse around here, right? Certainly.
I'm looking for the soul rod bomb recipe. Supposedly you can also buy this from Verathorn, but in the Ultimate Edition only Levi sells it. I also decided to buy the soul rod coating and a bunch of bomb materials.
You? You're the Warden? My family owes you. Any weapons I make, I will sell you for a discount. I have a family full of traders living a soft life, getting fat. I chose to learn the way of metal and stone. It keeps me strong. Indeed, I have spent my life studying steel, dragonbone, and more. I learned all I could in human lands, and exiled dwarves taught me more. Give me the finest metals and materials, and I can make wonders for you. This is star metal. If you give this to me, I will craft for you a thing of legend. Nothing. My family owes you much. And so it shall be. It is done. I call this blade Starfang. May it serve you well. I must rest after my exertions. Warden?
The reason why I picked the two-handed version is because I will not use the sword, I'm just gonna sell it, and that one gets me more gold.
What can I do for you, Warden? Certainly.
Okay, let's get back to the camp.
What say you? By all means. Well now, I imagine that's a very fair question. Being an assassin, after all, is a living, at least as far as such things go. I was simply never given the opportunity to choose another way. So, if that choice presents itself, Why should I not seize upon it? To be truthful, I didn't even know the crows existed when I joined them. I was but a boy of 7 when I was purchased. For 3 sovereigns, I'm told. Which is a good price, considering I was all ribs and bone and didn't know the pommel of a dagger from the pointy end. The crows buy all their assassins that way. Buy them young, raise them to know nothing else but murder. And if you do poorly in your training, you die. Oh, I don't know about that. The crows who are actually good enough to survive come to enjoy some of the benefits. In Antiva, being a crow gets you respect. It gets you wealth. Gets you women. And men. Or whatever it is you might fancy. But that does not mean doing what is expected of you always. And it means being expendable. It's a cage, if a gilded cage. Pretty, but confining. As for what I'll do in the future, presuming that there is one, I truly can't imagine. It might be interesting to go into business for myself, for a change. Far away from Antiva, of course. For now, naturally, I go where you go. And here I am, happy to be had. Isn't it wonderful how things work out that way? Come now, enough chit-chat. Talking about the crows summons them, you know. Any Antivan fishwife could tell you so.
What is your wish, Kadan? I am hardly surprised. To put it lightly, no one has a place here. Our farmers wish to be merchants. The merchants dream of being nobles, and the nobles become warriors. No one is content to be who they are. What does that accomplish? The farmer who buys a shop is never a merchant. He is always a farmer turned merchant. He carries his old life with him as a turtle carries its shell. Happiness is fragile. Nothing can be built upon it that will last. Only duty endures. You can learn to find it in doing your duty, in serving your people. There is no need to search for it. Shall we move on? There is interesting food here. You have a thing. It doesn't have a word in the Kunari tongue. Little baked things like bread, but sweet and crumbly. Yes, we have no such things in our lands. This should be remedied. Perhaps. It's strange to be in a crowd and hear a language that is not your own. To see faces that are and aren't like yours. I miss the smells of Saharon. Tea and incense and the sea. Ferelden smells of wet dogs. True. I was trying to forget that part. Shall we move on? As you wish.
Okay, so in the next episode we will finish the Nature of the Beast questline. It's not gonna be a picnic because the werewolf lair is an incredibly dangerous place. It's actually brutally unfair with this challenge. But since there's no use in delaying the inevitable, we might as well get it over with. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm gonna create a hard save here, and I hope we see each other again when we finish the Nature of the Beast.